Okay, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I believe in terms of evaluation of players and organizing teams and competitive levels of games. Really, my firm belief is that players develop at different rates and it's not always linear. It doesn't go in a straight line. Players will take big steps forward and then show lows for a little bit and then big steps forward. And a lot of that has to do with how much time they're spending on the ball, how much time they're spending at home, if they're on a club team and they're getting extra time on the ball that way too. But players develop and they grow, and I always want to leave room for that growth. So as I organize and look at our teams, I really am looking more at an age group. So for example, in our 2012s and our 2013s, I'm not organizing them into just two groups. I'm really looking at them into three groups. I'm looking at a group of boys who can handle a higher level of competition and a faster speed of play as maybe a first group. A third group of players who are still developing and absolutely need a slower pace of play in order to be able to start to develop some skills and have time and space to be able to play. And then that middle group of players who really aren't served well by being in a fast game all the time, and also aren't served well by being in a slow game all the time, but honestly need some of both. There are things that they can learn in both a faster game and in a slower game. And so what you're going to see is that some of our players are always going to play in a faster paced game, and some of our players are always going to play in a slower paced game, and some of our players are going to be playing in a mixture of both. There's things that we're going to be asking of them in the slower paced game to help them develop, and there's things we're going to be asking of them in a faster paced game to help them develop. But all of it is with that same goal, and that is to develop. So if you want to know what team am I on, instead of thinking of it as a blue team or a white team, think about it as I'm in the 2012 age group. It's a player pool of which we're drawing players and we're assigning games based upon what we think is going to help each individual player develop best. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we are developing players here. We're not developing teams, because everything changes so much as kids grow and as kids develop. And that's really fundamentally the whole idea, is we want every player to have the competition level and the speed of play that they're ready for at this time.